Today we're gonna be talking about hip hop, but we're not gonna be approaching hip hop from, the perspective of asking who started hip hop. Today we're gonna be talking about hip hop from the aspect of what made hip hop possible. So I got a few scenarios lined up that I wanna, run across your ears. The first one goes like this. If somebody hands you a glass of Kool-Aid, but there's no water in it, what do you really have? Now that should be a simple one. You only have powder. And think about it, nobody drinks Kool-Aid without being mixed with some water. The water itself is what allows everything to become what it's meant to be. Kool-Aid, right? We're talking about hip hop today. And what does Kool-Aid have to do with hip hop? Well, hip hop works the same way. You gotta realize without the microphones, you got speakers, amplifiers, turntables, drum machines, you got keyboards, headphones. I use all these things. We're conducting stuff like this on computers nowadays. So when you think about hip hop, it could never have reached millions of people without having this particular machine to help spread it. And this ain't taking nothing away from the artist. Every movement has a platform. So historically, hip hop, we all know it grew out the Bronx. And this was during the 1970s. It's said through the DJs and the MCs. And also I want to add in the break dancers. We don't want to leave out that. And the graffiti artists. It used to be some good graffiti artists back in the days. So when you think about the culture itself, right, it was built by creative people, like some of the people that I just named. And they were using the tools that was available to them at that time. It's etched in history. But I ain't gonna lie, hear the big what if. Hear me out. What if the machine was always more important than most people realize? Have you ever thought about it that way? I'm talking about the beat machine, the amplifiers, your headphones. I'm using headphones right now. I'm talking on the microphone. It's connected to my home computer, right? I'm doing all this right now. Think about it. What if every generation became more connected to the machine than to nature? I know that's a deep thought for some of y'all, but that's what's happening in real time. You got to look around. The microphone have became more important than the human voice. And I ain't lying. So let's talk about the speakers. The speakers themselves have became more important than the natural sound of nature. The computer has became more important than the band. You got to think about some of these things. We got artificial intelligence. It's becoming more important than the producer. Yep. These are times that we're moving in when we talk about technology and we're talking about machinery, beat machines and keyboards, amplifiers and microphones and computers. What I'm trying to say is that every step has moved us, a little further from the original vibration of the human expression. So I be wondering sometimes, is this progress? Because I'm dealing with some of this stuff that I'm talking about. Or is it becoming dependence? We got to be critical thinkers and we got to think like this at times. You got to think about a recording studio. A lot of people say they going to the stew, right? We going to the stew. Without the recording technology, what I'm saying, you would just be simply performing live wherever people can hear you. You wouldn't have the technology behind you. You wouldn't have the branding or the distribution, what I'm saying, behind you. The machine itself, it also gives someone else the power to edit, to package, to market, to own and control who hears what you have created. I don't know if y'all ever heard of the company called Steinberg. Steinberg is a company that is originated out of Germany. They make a lot of beat machines and keyboards. Basically, Steinberg is known around the world for music production technology. So what it does, it creates tools for musicians, engineers, and producers. And you got many people, right? You got millions of people that have used their equipment to record and shape their music. And that's a fact. You can fact check me on that. I've used Steinberg equipment. It's been around since the 70s, 80s, I'm sure. Now, something that's more deeper that I want to point out to y'all about Steinberg. So what we gonna do, we gonna break down the word Steinberg in a way that you will never hear it, right? Only here, you're gonna hear it like this. So like I said, the name Steinberg has German origins. It derives from Germany. The word Stein, first of all, it means stone. Yeah, the word Stein means stone. Now, the word berg means mountain. So put both of them together, you have Steinberg, and it literally means stone mountain. Now think about this. A stone mountain, it represents something solid. It's a mountain. It's solid. You can't move it. It's unmovable, and it lasts a long time. It's gonna be there for eons, for centuries, right? What if music itself, right now, has become built up on a technical mountain? I believe it has. And this is not because of one company. It's not because of, one country by using machines. And this is because every artist starts out or will eventually build a foundation of their music or their production from the machine. You can't escape it if you're dealing with production. So basically what I'm saying today, without the machine or the machines, right, the message is only going to reach just a few people. It ain't going to reach a lot of people. But you got to think a little deeper now, okay? Whoever owns the machine can also shape the message. They can edit the message. Remember, they can edit it, they can cut, they can paste it, they can reject it. They can say, you know what? We know you worked on these 11 smooth jazz compositions. We just don't like them. We're not going to approve any of them. We're not going to approve your first single, second single. We want you to go back into the stew, redo the album. Now, you done signed a contract, and your record is not going to come out until it's to the satisfaction of what you signed to. That's all I'm saying. Whoever owns the machine, folks, can also shape the message. And I think that's worth thinking about. Think about what I'm finna tell you. Every record spins. You got turntables that turn. You got many artists that rise and many of them that fall. Some of them gonna become stars and some of them gonna disappear, like we see often. A lot of them gonna make millions, and we see a lot of them losing everything also. The whole thing is that the table keeps turning. The machine itself that lifts someone up, basically, can later leave them behind. Ask an artist that's in the game who's been left behind. They can vouch for what I'm saying. So when you look at history, it has showed that the success in the music business has never guaranteed nobody no peace, not no real peace. Not no true happiness outside of just spending fiat currency, temporal happiness. A lot of times it don't create the freedom that you went in thinking that you was gonna have as an artist. Here's another thought. Here's something else. People often upload everything up on their devices. We do it, right? I got to say we because I'm included. We do our music like that. Now, some of these things I don't do. I don't be loading up family pictures, but a lot of people do. We all load up our passwords. Can we agree? Everybody load up their passwords. You got people that record their business ideas and their memories. They jot them down into the computer, the machine. What's happening is that the machine is almost becoming like a second mind. It's like one day people gonna wake up and they gonna wonder, where did all that information go that I was inputting in the computer? This is when the awakening happened. When they say people start to wake up in the simulation, they'll ask questions like this. Where were all those pictures going when I kept on uploading a picture every 2 or 3 days? Especially people on Facebook or just social media platforms. They want you to upload new pictures. If you the type of guy that do online dating, then a woman really don't want to date you if she don't see no up-to-date picture. And you have a lot of guys that are like that too. So you're basically influenced to put up-to-date pictures continuously, put your family pictures, put your kids' pictures, put your pets' pictures into the machine. We don't want to get it twisted, right? We're talking about machines, beat machines, keyboards, headphones, the computer, amplifiers, right? We're talking about things like that today. So basically, back to what I was saying, people will wake up one day and say, where did all those pictures go? Outside of just saying in cloud space, they're being saved in the cloud. I'm buying terabytes at this point because I have so many pictures. My cloud space is running out. Maybe the machine itself is learning more about us than we're learning about each other. Have you ever thought of it that way? Humans often fight each other, and a lot of it is dealing with classism or racism, right? While humans are not learning about each other or learning about each other cultures, what's really happening is that all the information that humans is uploading in the machines, the machines is learning more about the humans. So it's not even a give and take situation. It's not a fair exchange. What's happening, what I'm saying, folks, is that the machine is learning from us more than we're learning from the machine. That's why they call it machine learning. You get it? Human learning is something totally different from machine learning, is all I'm saying. Think about this, because this been happening for a long time. People have been learning from machines. You got to think about the radio, especially from back in the days, how the radio taught. The television, it taught. I'm talking about teaching. It taught. You got computers, taught. You got your smartphone. It taught you, man. I mean, that's your go-to. It's teaching you. Social media itself, every second, it taught. It's teaching you. You're learning from it. So it's fair for me to say this today. I don't think that the machine should only be learning from humans. I think humans need to take that same passion and also learn the machine. You need to learn the ins and outers of the machine, the construct. Because at the end of the day, that's just some advice worth taking. People need to learn more about the machine instead of just letting the machine learn more about you. At any rate, at least we can be even. Now, shit, you just can't keep learning everything from me and then I have a lazy mind and don't really learn anything from you. I'm just putting in prompts, and whatever you say, you're guiding me. You're letting the computer become your God if you're not in control of your own thoughts and your own dialogue that you're inputting into the machines. Whether you're putting in prompts, it's your signature. It's your essence, and you have to guide that, and you don't need to let the machine dictate. You don't need to let it mimic and lead you. If you use technology, then you lead the technology, right? You're in control. So that's all I'm saying. So what I want to add to this, when we think about music, especially our culture, we kind of think of it as music as being the greatest product, especially as an artist. When you have created something that you feel is really, really great, you feel like you have a good product, through the music. But a deeper thought is that, what if the greater product was the attention? Every song competes for your attention. Every notification competes for your attention. Every trend competes for your attention. So what happens is that attention becomes currency. Who's collecting that currency, y'all? The machine collects it. The people that created the machine or who runs the machine, they collect the currency. What happens is that the platform is going to sell it, right? The audience is going to be your feed. They're going to feed it. So we see everyone is using this machine. But in some ways, like I said earlier, the machine is also using us. What I said in a couple of my other lectures is that it don't mean that the technology is evil. It can educate. I've said that. It can save lives. It's called a heart machine. It's called a blood pressure machine. If you need that type of care and you keep neglecting it, you could be out of here. So technology can save lives. So what I'm saying, I'm not just focusing on the machine itself, the conglomerate that run this whole thing called the entertainment business, or, these machines that you have to use to get your message across. What I'm saying is that who controls the tools? Who's going to be benefiting from the tools? And also I'm kind of focusing in on, does the tools slowly change the person that's using it? Y'all got to realize hip hop done became one of the most powerful forms of expression in modern history. We got artists that poured their life into it, literally, but at the same time, it also became one of the biggest businesses in the whole world. And that's because of the machines. The machines allowed it to be copied and recorded and streamed and marketed and then sold. We got two things happening here. We got, without the people, basically, there's no culture. But also without technology, there's no worldwide distribution. Ain't nobody gonna hear it. So you got both things that matter equally. But seemingly to me, something is benefiting more off the culture than the culture is benefiting from it. And that's what we need to be careful about. I'm not telling people basically to reject the machines. I'm using the machines right now. The lesson that I'm trying to bring today is that we don't need to become servants to the machines. If we gonna use the damn machines, use them. Don't let the machine use you. Be creative with it. That's what I be doing. I'm creative with it. Don't be dependent on the machine for your identity. Don't let the machine take true self. We all playing avatars, but I'm just saying, man, be careful. You got to let your voice stay stronger than the software that you're using. You got to let your mind stay stronger than the algorithm. The algorithm be pissing me off, but I got to stay stronger than it. Hopefully one day you'll realize that all the machines was built to process information. And only us as human beings can decide what information is worth believing, questioning, rejecting, researching, and etc. Basically what I'm saying today, folks, the choice is yours.